Yeah, I mean, obviously, tough day for us. Give Purdue all the credit in the world. They were really ready to play. I thought their fight, their physicality early, they hit us with that 10-point, 11-2 start. That's been a real issue with us. Kind of the last couple games, we got to figure that out. We've been getting off to really poor starts, not only just energy-wise. And I was really surprised about that with my team, honestly. We've always been a team that has really bounced back from tough times, the last couple of years with this group. And I really thought I didn't know that we would win the game, but I really thought we were going to be ready to fight and battle, and see what happened out there. And Purdue they out-scrapped us, they out-executed us. Obviously they have some tremendous players. Braden is a great player and sets the tone. Kaufman-Wren is playing really well this year, and give their young guys credit. I thought Cox played really well. His defense, his physicality, they did a really good job, kind of forcing us into tough areas. And then what happened was they were making Brooks and Nick pass the ball early, and we weren't able to capitalize with our other guys. I know Leach hit a couple, but. And then what happened was those guys tried to do too much. I thought that really happened with Brooks. I thought he got a little bit sped up. He was trying to take 3 and 4 guys on, and that's where a lot of those turnovers came. So, we got to be a lot better in the course of a 31-game season. Unfortunately, there's always a couple games when you look back in every year where you just don't have it. And, we didn't have it today. Obviously, grueling week. We've played 3 out of 4 on the road, which is par for the course usually for us. That's what the league's done to us pretty much every year. But, this was a tough week, the way we lost at Penn State, coming here and in my opinion, the toughest venue to play in the conference right now. And we gotta bounce back. We got an opportunity. We get a week. We don't play till next Sunday. We got to go home. We got to fix some things. We got to be better and try to find a way to get a win. Yep. Yeah.
But you mentioned they took the ball out of Nick and Brooks' hands. Was that the key to that?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, and I just think they were more physical. They were quicker to the ball. I thought we were a step slow to everything. I just did. I just didn't see our normal kind of and give Purdue the credit. I mean, a lot of times, honestly, guys, when you lose a game, a lot of times coaches will kind of just talk about how poorly their team played, but you don't realize there's also a really good team that kind of makes you play that poorly. And, they had a good game plan. They're physical. They have veteran guys. They were smart. I got to find a way because, Brooks and Nick, are really physical drivers. And, I got to really examine the film. And, that's 2 games in a row where Brooks – he gets 3 free throws the other night, and their best player the other night gets 16 on hand checks. Tonight again, he gets 2 free throws and he's driving the ball. And again, I got to figure that out because, we got to find ways to get to the line and get some easy baskets. I thought there was a number of times in there where, for whatever reason, and give them credit, the referees said they were playing good defense. So we got to take that for what it is. But, we need other guys to be able to lessen the pressure. I honestly thought, guys, the biggest play of the game was, you can look at, we had settled into the game a little bit, and it was at 8, and we got a steal, and Leach had a breakaway, and Heidi had a hustle play, and he came back, and instead of Leach getting a dunk, he fouled him. And, instead of getting the 2 points to cut it to 6, we go to the line. He missed both. They came down, made a 3, and then got a steal and got a layup. So instead of the game being 6, it was 13 like that. And then we never recovered from those 2 possessions, honestly. That was the rest of the half. And then I think it got it to 27-14 maybe at that time. And then the rest of the half, they get up 23, and you're just not coming back from 23 down at half in here against a team like that. So we got some things we got to figure out for sure. I told the guys in there, though, we're 15 games in. We're 10-5. We got 16 league games left. So, there's a little fire alarm going off that we got to extinguish, and get ourselves right and play better basketball. But everything's still right in front of us, and we got to learn from today, and we got to go home, and it's got to be all hands on deck next Sunday, man. That's a game. We get back home. Like in this league, you got to take care of home. As you guys know, it's really hard to win on the road in this league, and we just saw that this week. I mean, we went to Purdue saw that. They went to Penn State and lost like we did today there. So I mean, that's not an easy place to play, and so and the way that game happened, I mean, that took a lot out of us. The ending of that game and the way that happened, and then to come back, and I'm not making excuses, but it was a grueling week. And so we got to get home. We got to get ourselves right. We got to regroup and get ready for next Sunday.
Coach, last minutes today for Jalen, Ty, and Matt from the Houston. Can you talk a little bit about that process, especially considering Nick and Brooks played still late into the game?
Yeah, I was playing the guys I thought were competing, and so I was just trying to find a group out there that was going to fight and battle and compete, and so I was throwing different guys in there, and that's the way it was. Angelo, Justin, KJ, those guys came in, gave us energy. I actually thought Keenan Fitzmaurice's energy was really good. I thought Luke's energy was really good today. So, we're just trying to win, trying to play well, trying to find something. Every game is different. You don't come into a game, at least I don't come into the game with scripted minutes. I come into the game trying to win and seeing what the game, and Matt and Ty and Jalen didn't quite have. Jalen made some shots, but I just didn't think their energy was great today, and obviously it was a tough week, and so I wanted to give those young guys a chance to see if they could give us a spark.
Angelo had a career high at 19 points, but his previous was at Dayton. What does it mean to you to see a freshman guard succeed
Yeah.
in these type of road environments, and what do you see his role on the team going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think his role on the team going forward is huge, and it has been the whole time. I mean, we're a developmental program. That's how we've built this thing into a winner the last 2-3 years. Is by guys like Nick Martinelli hardly played as a freshman. Brooks only played 11 games his freshman year. Brooks, and now he's a first-team All-Leaguer, as a senior. So we have unbelievably high hopes for Angelo, KJ as well. But it was just great to see Angelo he's fearless, as you guys see. He's fearless. He's athletic. He's not afraid of the moment. He's competitive. And now with those guys, it's about just sharpening up the little things, like the details of the defensive scheme, being in the right spots, the things we're trying to do. And the more they pick that up, the more they're going to continue to play, because both of those kids have talent. And so I've been wanting them to get to this point where they can come out. So great, that was the one real bright spot, in my opinion, was Angelo's minutes tonight, and to have that kind of success in, like what I said, to me is the toughest venue right now in the conference to play in.
Coach, Brooks turned the ball over 8 times today.
Yeah.
Concerns about him bringing the ball up before it was facing kind of the pressure coming from Purdue.
Yeah, well, I don't think any of his turnovers were in the backcourt. They were all in the front court, and I could be wrong, maybe one, but no, I do not. I mean, we're going to bring the ball up by committee, and there's times we feel like he's a great secondary ball handler. If they're going to put their best guy, like the other night, Ace Baldwin was on Jalen. You want to try to get Ace Baldwin off the ball. Braden was picking up the ball. So most of Brooks's turnovers were in the scoring area. I thought he made some poor decisions. I said it earlier. He got himself into some tough spots by trying to do too much and making some plays that weren't characteristic of him. So, that happens. He's got the ball in his hands a lot. There's going to be nights, I've seen nights where, Braden Smith had 5 turnovers. Are you guys concerned about his ball security? He's one of the best point guards in the country. So we can talk a little bit too much about that. We didn't lose the game today because of turnovers. We lost because Purdue had more fight. They were ready to go right from the beginning. They brought it to us. And they hit us with that first punch in the first 15 minutes that we could never recover from.
Time for a couple more questions in the middle.
Nathan Baird from Indy Star. Miles Colvin, number 5 for them, hit a couple threes today, and I think he was 1 of 16 coming in. I was just curious, how did that look on your scouting report come in? How do you handle that as a coach when a guy who has demonstrated a capability there is in such a rut?
Yeah, he made a couple big shots there in the corner. I think the 1-3 was right off the play I was talking about after Leach missed 2 free throws. I think that was him on that next possession who came down and hit the 3. I know they have high aspirations for Miles. He's a very talented player, and as a young player, sometimes you just go through things when you don't. But I know, judging by Coach Paint and his staff, I know they're working to get him right. And obviously, he hadn't been shooting the ball well. And when you have guys like Fletcher, Braden, and Trey out there that command more than single coverage, sometimes you're gonna, test your luck a little bit with some of those other guys. And if they can get those guys, if CJ, he's 2 for 4, Miles is 2 for 4. Jakari comes in, if those guys can come in and continue to make shots, Heidi, who's a talented player, those guys, it's going to really make them dangerous, because they have 3 elite players, in Braden, Fletcher, and Trey Kaufman.
Final question in front.
Kind of going off of that, CJ and Miles on Brooks, you mentioned the 3 guys, they take a high volume of shots. They can expend maybe more energy guarding Brooks than having to be a part
Yeah.
of the offense.
Yeah.
Should that maybe disrupt things a little bit? That there's 2 different totally type of athletes, sizes. And
Yeah.
that we have.
Well, let's not get it twisted. They didn't guard him one-on-one. They guarded Brooks with about 3 guys, so they did a good job. And they worked hard. They did a good job. They made him work. But if you watch the film, he was double and triple teamed every time he attacked, and that was smart because look what Brooks has been doing. They were playing the percentages as well. They wanted him to be a passer, and they wanted to test our other guys, and we didn't make them pay. But those guys did a good job. They pressured him. They tried to get into his leg. I don't want to diminish what they did, but it wasn't like, let's just play him one-on-one. That was a team defensive game plan that they executed very well.